Alright, hello, my name is Ray Branum, and I will be teaching you how to put the mouthpiece, the barrel, and the reed and ligature all together on the clarinet. So what you want to first do is unzip or unclip, if you have the clip case, unclip it and open it. Like this. We'll make sure everything is in there. And what you're first going to do after you open it is you're going to grab your reed out. You're going to put your reed in your mouth to let it soak. You want to put in your mouth while you're putting the mouthpiece and ligature, the mouthpiece and the barrel together. That way it's already wet and it's ready whenever you put your reed on your mouthpiece. So first you want to grab the barrel, first you want to grab your mouthpiece out of the case. You want to take the cap off. Then you want to take off your ligature, the little thing that goes on your mouthpiece. Take your ligature and your cap, put it on your case. Next one you want to do is check the cork. See this brown stuff, the cork. You want to make sure it looks good. Make sure it feels smooth. And if it doesn't, if it feels rough, you're going to want to put cork grease on it. Not a lot, just like a little dab, like as if you were putting chapstick on your lips. Luckily, I don't have to because my cork's already good. But if you needed to, you put cork grease on it, and it's like a little small amount, and you just rub it against all the cork until it feels nice and smooth. And if you have excess cork on your hands, preferably don't wipe on your pants. Preferably wipe it on your your sock if you really don't care. Alright, next what you're going to do is you're going to get your barrel. Make sure that your barrel, that you are going to put your mouthpiece on the top part. It's the smaller part of the barrel. What you're going to do is you're going to put your mouthpiece on top. You're going to do a back and forth motion with it. So it's on there, right? Make sure there's no cracks or holes. That way air doesn't leak through. We want to minimize air leaking through as much as possible. So it should look like that. And then what you're going to do next, you're going to get your ligature. Now, some of you may have a metal ligature, like metal wire ligature, that doesn't look like this. It will look like this and have two screws instead. Now with the metal ligature, if you have that one, you're going to put it on where the opening is on the mouthpiece. You're going to put it on with the screws facing the right side. Put it on. It should look like kind of like that, but since I have a different ligature, it's going to look different. Now, if you have a leather ligature, your screw is going to be facing away from the mouthpiece. It's going to be like this way instead, but the screws are still going to be on this side. You're going to make sure your ligature is unscrewed. Don't unscrew it all the way where the screw falls out. Just enough where your mouthpiece is open, or enough for your ligature. What you're going to do after that is put the ligature on the mouthpiece, slide it on. Don't screw it yet because we have to put the reed on. Next, what you're going to do is put the reed. Should be enough to slide on through the mouthpiece, between the mouthpiece and the ligature, just like that. Now what you want to do after that, you're going to want to adjust the reed and your ligature. If your ligature moves, you want to adjust your reed to where it's in the dead center of the mouthpiece. You want to check vertically Make sure there's no like cracks or openings on throughout the sides. Besides on the very top, that's where you should only have opening where the air can get through. You want to check both sides. Make sure they look good and lined up, just if you have to. And you don't want your reed too far up. You want your reed like where you can barely see black on it. See, like that? You barely want to see the tip of the black tip on your mouthpiece. Now after your mouthpiece lined up, your reed is lined up right, you're going to want to screw your ligature, but first, make sure your ligature, it looks straight. It's not too high up on the reed. It's not too high up on the mouthpiece, because then it won't want to play right. You want it dead center with the reed and the mouthpiece. Now what you're going to do is you're going to screw your ligature, not too tight, because then it will make it harder to play. After that, it should be nice and sturdy. This is what your mouthpiece and barrel are going to look like, with the reed and the ligature on it. Now it will take some practice and getting used to be able to do it perfectly. It's not always going to be perfect your first couple of times, but after the first couple of times, after playing, you'll figure out like your normal setup with your reed and ligature and your mouthpiece. And you'll be able to figure out what feels comfortable for you. Now for embouchure. Your embouchure should be, you want your chin flat, like this. You want your bottom lip to go over your bottom teeth, just a little, not a whole lot. And that'll help you maintain the flat chin, like that. Then you want your top teeth and your top lip. You kind of want it like kind of a little bit of the top lip going over the top teeth, just a little, not a whole lot. Kind of like if you're putting chapstick on, like that. Do that. But you want to hold that. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your mouthpiece in, and you're going to have your bottom lip touching the reed on the bottom, and your top lip that's over your top teeth on the top of the mouthpiece. So sort of like this. So sort of like this. You see how it turns all flat? You should be able to put a pencil right through there, making sure your chin's flat. Or a trick you can do is putting tape on your chin. Now, if you're a guy and you have a beard, I'm sorry, it's gonna hurt. But putting tape on your chin, that way, if the tape starts to like fall off, you know your embouchure is wrong. It should always stay flat. So like the reason why the tape will start falling off is because your chin is coming back out. You don't want that. You want to make sure your chin stays flat. It's going to take a lot to get used to, but after a week or two, it should be easier for you. It's going to be a little bit difficult in the beginning, but it'll be easier. So it should look like this. And you want to make sure your mouthpiece and barrel is like at a 35-degree angle. It doesn't have to be perfect. But you don't want it like this. And you don't want it straight down like this, because you're going against the reed. And you don't want it like this, because then it's harder to play, and it's not that, and you're just gonna sound bad. We don't play like trumpets. Trumpets are like this. We aren't like this, where our mouth is gonna like fly out on us. We want right in the middle, 35-degree angle. Not too much, not too less. It's gonna look like this. And that's how you first assemble your mouthpiece and your ligature. Now, how to take it apart. It's the same thing, just in reverse. You take off your reed first. You always take off your reed first, because where you want to put that up first, because that's the important part of your instrument. That's what makes your instrument be able to play good. If your reed's all messed up, it's not going to play well. So you put your reed back in its case. I'm not going to put mine up yet because, actually, yeah. Put the reed back in its case. You take your ligature, your mouthpiece. Put ligature back on your mouthpiece. Twist it just a bit, just to make sure it stays on there, and that way it don't slide off. Put the mouthpiece back in its cap, that way it's protected. Take your barrel and your mouthpiece and put them back in the case. That's how you assemble and deassemble a clarinet and your embouchure.